The title of this video is The Art of Cross-Examination, Volume 2. One of the most important things in cross-examination is control. You want to be the most prepared person in that courtroom, and you want to have control of the materials that you are using. This means knowing every document that's going to be material to that cross-examination, and it means having them organized and ready to go. I can't tell you the number of times I've gone into court. There's a cross-examination starting by my opposing counsel, and their exhibits are not consistent with one another. The judge says, I'm missing page 5 of Exhibit 4. The witness says, I don't have Exhibit 4. And everything comes to a screeching halt. The drama that you generate and the interest that you generate has peaked at the moment that you have a central witness under cross-examination and you want to have control of the materials and the documents. You want to have control of the witness. You don't want to ask open-ended questions and let them get into their story. You want to control the timeline of when the witness is talking about what's going on. And you want to control how the evidence comes in. But more fundamentally, under control, you want to control yourself. You're going to run into a lot of combative witnesses that are there to make sure you understand their story, whether or not that question was asked or not asked. And we have a natural fight or flight reaction where when someone gets in our face, our breathing gets faster, our pitch goes up, our speed goes up. And if you allow yourself to lose control by a witness who's working to push your buttons, you're not doing yourself any favors, because you want to be the person that the jury looks to for reasoned analysis. In addition to control, the jury needs to understand the reason for each and every question that you are asking. The jurors are very protective of their time. And if they don't understand your theory of the case or how this particular question fits in, they're disturbed, and they may feel that you're wasting their time. One very effective technique I have had in some cross-examinations is where I have 4 items where the witness has obviously lied and the jury knows that they've lied. You go in and you get them to repeat item 1, item 2, item 3, and item 4. Then I'll go in and I'll have items 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 that I can't prove are lies, but I know are lies. And now the jury is following along. Oh, I get it. These are the lies that this witness is telling. Now, there are 2 kinds of people that you will cross-examine that you should be prepared for. The first is what I call the Easter Bunny witness. And this is a witness that is so locked into the story that they can't possibly concede that they're wrong. And the best technique with witnesses like this is to just keep digging it and digging it and digging it deeper for them, where they refuse to acknowledge the possibility of compromise, or that things are not as they believe them to be, up to the point that they're telling you that the Easter Bunny did it. Uh, the next kind of witness is a difficult witness sometimes, but that's the honest witness. You'll meet people that have a fundamental philosophy of honesty. And a lot of times with witnesses like this, they'll concede that they were really tired that day, or they didn't get as good of a look as they thought, or they do lose their keys sometimes and their memory isn't as good as it otherwise would be. And you can use the honesty to get the uh, the strength of the testimony weakened. And finally, in terms of expectations, you you can't always assume that you're going to get the nuke. And what is the nuke? The nuke is Perry Mason. The nuke is what you see on TV. You go in there, the witness, clutches the jacket, admits that they're wrong, and the entire case unwinds right there at that moment, because you've been so brilliant that the witness is going to roll over and put up a white flag right then, right there. That doesn't happen in real life. You can be very effective and you can leave 12 jurors and 2 alternates believing that this person is not credible, but you're not going to get the nuke. So really, what are you doing? Well, if you're not going to get the nuke, you have a timeline and you have the best familiarity with the documentation in the case of anybody in that room. And what you're doing is you're building the items that help you and the items that undercut credibility for argument later when you go in to do closing argument. And a lot of times when I have a very complex case, particularly a fraud case, things that seem very complicated actually can be brought to the jury's understanding by 3 questions. And I'll go in on a case involving misrepresentation, and I'll say, well, what this case is really about is what they said, what they did, and what they knew. And when it's framed that way, the jury's like, oh, yeah, they knew what that fact was, but this is what they said. And this is what they did. The way to be the best cross-examiner is to be the best prepared. You don't have to be Perry Mason. You don't have to raise your voice. You don't have to engage with a hostile witness. You want to get the facts out and look like you're trying to get the facts out in a professional and methodical way.